You know, I normally wouldn't do a video for a minor free agent signing, but I'll do it in this case because of the interest that exists in Nail Yakupov. You know, how cat hair climbed. This hat was at the top of that bloody thing. How does the cat hair get up there? You kitties doing them not here. Anyways, for me, the Nail Yakupov story is interesting. He is on the verge of finding himself out of the league. And I say that without any fear of recrimination because he had 3 goals last year in half a season. And he got off to a good start for St. Louis last year. Remember, there was, that conditional draft pick that went in that deal, and there was like, oh, the Oilers got fleeced. St. Louis got a guy that in a new surrounding, he's going to be great. There won't be any pressure on him as the number 1 draft pick, so this is going to be great for St. Louis. And yeah, in the beginning, it looked like it was, and then it fell apart. And I don't know why these things fall apart. I don't have a crystal ball into which prospect's going to make it and which one doesn't, because every kid develops differently. And some of them get drafted low, and they bust their asses, and they pick it up and they get it together, and others just don't. They think, you know what, I was drafted high, I'm this talented, I'm so good, I'm this great player to be, I don't have to do the work. Yeah, that kid's doing all that extra work, but he has to get to where I am. I'm already there. And I can't tell who's going to do that. But it's weird that Colorado is picking up a guy who was a highly touted number 1 draft pick and has failed, while they are trying to get rid of Matt Duchene, and there has to be some concern about the regression of Nathan MacKinnon. I don't understand what Colorado's doing either. It's like Joe Sakic watches what's going on in Vegas and then watches my videos and says, oh, he thinks he doesn't understand Vegas. I'm going to go sign Nail Yakupov. Because we had the worst team in the league by 21 points, which was the 3rd worst spread in the history of the NHL. I read that. That was actually in the hockey news I picked up that the cat's sleeping on here. And it's stunning. Pretty sure it's in here. That they were that bad. Because, I mean, you think, well, they were bad. No, they were historically bad. And when it's the Champions issue, and in that issue, they're talking about, here it is. The Avs were bad this season. Like, really, really bad. But at least they can't say they were the worst of all time, or even recent memory. Here are the biggest point differences between last place and second last place teams since the NHL expanded to 21 teams in 79-80. So there you go. I think the thing that you notice here is Quebec's number 1. That's where Colorado came from. And if you can read it, you can't. Quebec was 31 points behind the second worst team, which was Vancouver. Colorado was 21 points back. Or no, Quebec was 33 points back. Colorado was 21 points back of the second worst team, which was Vancouver. When you're that far back, you have to do something dramatic to fix it. It can be a one-off. And I remember Philly's the biggest example I can remember of a team that just fell apart, and then the next year they were right back up to 100 points, like nothing had happened. But, the Avs have been down here for a while, and this could go on for a while. Because 21 points back of the second worst team in the league. And then they get the number 4 draft pick. And, of course, they got Ron Tugnut's picture on here because Tugnut was a Warrior during that year. That they had 31 points as a team. And this year, Colorado had 44. And remember, the Nordiques didn't have access to some of those shootout loss points that Colorado would have got. So, Colorado was worse than those 44 points show. And Nail Yakupov. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. They added Colin Wilson, an overpaid top, first round draft pick who never panned out for Nashville. They're paying him $3.937 million this year and next year to score 10 goals. Now they've added Yakupov, and they still have Duchesne, Landeskog. They still have Soderberg on their roster for the next 3 years. They have 4 defensemen. 3 of them are under contract in Eric Johnson, Tyson Barrie, and Mark Barberio. Nikita Zadorov is an RFA. Their goaltending is Varlamov and Bernier, and there's no telling if Varlamov is going to be healthy, because that's been an issue. And they've got $4.5 million under the cap this year for buying out Boscheman. Their cap space right now is $12.6 million. They have 3 defensemen. Barberio's one of them, if you don't count Zadorov, who's an RFA, and they have $12 million to spend. We've talked a lot about Washington and their issues, and rightfully so. And we've discussed Vegas and what Vegas is doing, and rightfully so. But Colorado, the train wreck, only has $12 million under the cap, and they're trying to sign Duchesne they're trying to trade Duchesne for the last year plus, and it hasn't happened. And that means teams are lowballing Joe Sakic, and he's asking too much. So, we'll see what happens with it. But, man, signing Yakupov and trading for Colin Wilson, I don't get it. I really don't. Wilson can be a gritty forward, and he can be useful come playoff time. Colorado's not getting anywhere near the playoffs. Not even close. And they're at or near the cap, and they don't have a defense. You look, and even in their lineup right now, they've got Tyson Yost as being in the lineup. Matt Nieto's their only remaining RFA. I don't know if they're going to try to keep Nieto or not. In terms of prospects, they got Big Raw, who hasn't come up yet. He's 22. He could. Andrei Mironov could definitely play for them this year. And Milosh. So there's 3 defensemen. So if they want to go with 3 rookies. And then from there, it's just, what have you got? Like, it's I don't think Duncan Siemens is ever going to make it to the NHL. I think his prospect time, I think he's pretty much project at this point, and I don't know that he ever pans out. But I baffled and bewildered at what's going on in Colorado as much as anywhere else. Signing Yakupov is just strange. It's baffling. It's just like in Vancouver, there were a lot of Canucks fans who were like, oh, we should just sign Yakupov. It's a free prospect. But it's a roster spot. And he scored 3 goals in 40 games. And what gets me is, I only take a player on face value. I don't care where they were drafted. I don't care about any of that. Because if I cared about their draft position, I would have been itching for Patrick Steffen to become a member of Boston and Vancouver, and I would have done happy jumping jacks when he became a member of Dallas, instead of thinking, we got who? Oh, God. And that was my reaction when Patrick Steffen became a member of the Dallas Stars. So, when you look at Yakupov's stats, forget he was a number 1 draft pick. Forget that. You look at his stats. You look at his game. And I don't understand why they didn't keep Grigorenko instead. That's the other part that I don't get. Grigorenko out, Yakupov in. Even with money they're saving on the cap, it's a downgrade. Grigorenko, for as far as I'm concerned right now, is a better player than Yakupov. Because Grigorenko, I think there's other things to his game. And Yakupov, to me, seems like a very one-dimensional player. That's me. Maybe somebody sees something that I don't. Maybe he can go to Colorado and have a 20-goal season. Maybe he'll be the biggest bargain of all the free agent signings. But from all reports, the dressing room in Colorado was toxic. The mood in the mood on the team was toxic. And adding Colin Wilson and Nail Yakupov to what was a team 21 points, the worst in the entire league. I don't understand it. So maybe there's an Avs fan out there that does. If you do, man, I really respect your faith in the team. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And again, this is being done on July 4th, so all happiness to those south of the border. And thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you guys again soon.